G'day mates, it's your host Mary O'Neill Phillips and you are listening to Country Outdoors Podcast.
Naomi Johnson, welcome to Country Outdoors Podcast. We're in it.
Let's dive in. I'm so here. We are so here.
I'm so glad to have you on because I feel like,
Me too. I'm so happy to be here with
we
you.
haven't seen each other in forever, but I feel like you're just someone who I can always just like let it rip and tell you exactly how I feel.
Isn't that a rare friend? I have a couple of those friends that like, it kind of doesn't matter the time that passed. As soon as I see you, it kind of feels like we've just been on the same page or something. Maybe it's because of the amount of memes we send each other.
Maybe, but I think as well, like that first time that we did that, well, not the first time that we hung out, the second time when we did that survival camp and then kind of sharing a bit of our birthing stories and stuff, which I would love for you to share if you want today, because I feel like it's not spoken about enough. Like you and I shared the whole trauma story about each other, but you know, now being a couple of years, almost two, well, is Free 2 now?
She's just almost 2.
Yeah, so
because Molly,
they're like a week apart.
They're like 1 week apart. Yeah,
crazy.
Freedom will be 2 in a little over a week.
Yeah,
that's
crazy. What are you guys gonna do for it?
I think we'll just keep it small until she's about like 5.
Yeah.
Because she won't remember it too much, and I'm not really like, I don't want to make a big hoopla about it.
No.
You know, every year I like it. I like the little small intimate, like a little cake with me and my husband and her grandfather, and like, you know, small and cute.
That's kind of what I was thinking for Molly too, is like I was even thinking maybe we just, because we've been wanting to go down the coast or something, and maybe just get like a little beach house and make a little cake and go play on the beach and stuff like that. And
I feel like the little intimate ones are more memorable. But I remember every 5th birthday, well, we had, 10 kids, so you couldn't do so. There was 2 birthdays a month. You couldn't make a big deal out of it. But it was like 5, 10, 15. Like those were the big parties that we were allowed to have.
So that's how they did it.
Yeah. And I'll probably do it more than that with her. But I feel like starting at 5 is when you would remember you start to have little friends that you want
for sure
to come. So yeah, we'll probably just do something small right
and
now.
I was a Barbara
First
O'Neill
birthday's
thing.
a big deal though.
For sure. Yeah. Even though they kind of have their first try of cake, I guess, or something.
Oh, the first birthday's for the mom, I think.
It is. It's like we got through it. Yeah.
We survived it. They survived.
Yeah, for sure. On the friend thing, I saw it was a Barbara O'Neill thing the other day, and she was saying about how, because, we go back and forth a lot on like what to do for schooling and probably going to do homeschooling and all of that.
Yeah.
But then she was saying, like, your kids don't need to have a million friends. Like, it's great if they have a sibling or some siblings or whatever, but the worst thing you can do is put your kids around other kids that you don't know how they're raised, and they undo your training of your child. So and I think about that so often now with school and all of this stuff, and it's like, it's so true. Like this is like your little bubble, and you're trying to protect them and raise them to have like your culture and all of this stuff. And it's like, I know you get that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't relate to that more. I'm also like, Martin and I are in this like a phase right now where we're meeting a lot of other parents with young families, and we're putting effort to do that, right? To like surround ourselves with people that are raising young kids and like trying to have that community. And maybe some of your listeners will have, an answer for this, but I'm like, what do you do when you like a couple,
but
like
their kid's
parents,
a little brat,
but you don't like their children?
I know.
What do you do?
Or when, I don't know if you've come across this yet, because Molly has got like the sweetest heart, and she's a really good sharer.
Yes, so
and because I grew up with essentially 7 kids in my family, so same thing, you had to share.
Yes.
And I think it's great for kids to learn that. And so when she'll be around some little kids, they're like so mean to her.
They're so mean.
Oh, and it kills you, doesn't it? And all you want to do is be like, stop doing that.
Yes, and I do. I do. And I want her to learn how to defend herself, but I will always stand up for her. I do not let someone push her around. I don't want her to let people push her around.
Yeah.
But Freedom is very sweet-natured, and she will share. She'll stand back and observe. She's just a sweet little girl. And I don't want someone dimming that light. And it happens so fast because I also don't want her picking up bad behavior and then treating other kids like that.
For sure.
And so I'm very watchful. And then even when I'm playing with her, I've noticed this too. Like if I'm playing with her and she comes over and tries to take the thing I'm playing with, I don't let her.
Yeah.
And it's like an easy thing to do as a mom to be like, here, I'm saying, no, I'm playing with this because I want her to do that.
Yeah.
When she's playing with something and someone just walks over and tries to take it, I want her to say, no, that I'm playing with this.
Yeah.
And she will learn that from watching my behavior.
Yeah.
So,
and then the alternate too is like, oh, okay, it's their turn.
Yes.
And then I'll wait until they're done, and then it's my turn.
She can ask me for it. Say, Mommy, can I play with that?
Yeah.
But you're not just going to come take something out of my hands.
For sure.
So it's really, gosh, there's so much to learn. But I really feel that. I'm really careful. I want to be really cautious of who she hangs out with, who we surround ourselves with.
For sure, because it's just like, that's the thing. It's like, even with church and stuff like that, you know, they have all the childcare places, and there's one that we've been going to that we love, and everybody is great. But Zach was like, let's just like see what else is around just to test it out.
Yes.
And we went to one yesterday, and it was really weird. You know, when your conviction is just like, you feel like the Holy Spirit like sending like red flag signals. Yeah. And I was she wanted a mandarin halfway through church, and so I was like, I'm going to take her outside to have a mandarin. Yeah. And as soon as I got outside, this man was like essentially just ushered me out of the hall and down to the daycare center, and I couldn't even it was like one of those things where I was like, what is going on? I'm just trying to give her a mandarin. And I got down in there, and it was like a room with no windows. There was like 8 kids in there. They're all screaming, crying. And it was just like the weirdest environment. And they kept saying, you can leave her. Like, oh, we'll let her cry for 15 minutes. And if she doesn't calm down, then we'll come and get you. And I was like, inside me was screaming like, do not leave her, do not leave her. And I was like, oh, we're just checking it out, you know. But then, you know, you start to think, oh my gosh, like it just takes like 5 minutes to create this like trauma in them, and Lord knows what could happen. Yeah. But it is
going
challenging.
Against that instinct for you, or talking yourself out of it, is the worst thing you can do.
For sure.
I have not ever followed that instinct with her.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll leave her at church at the daycare sometimes only if she says, okay,
I'm good.
And there are days where she's like, no, I want to come with Mommy, and she has to say nothing else, and she can be with us.
Yeah.
There's never, and also I think it's good for them to sit in the service where it's
for
quiet,
sure.
and they have to be quiet for a minute,
and all of that too,
and learn to be still. And so there's been times where I've gone in there and it's like pure chaos, and there's a kid crying, and she's just like overstimulated, and I'm like,
but you don't want like them to be around necessarily that
her nervous system spiked just because we're going to church for an hour.
It's making me anxious too.
Yes.
Zach's like, I think we when she's maybe just in the next year or something, we were thinking about getting her into Taekwondo because she's so athletic, and she's like literally little jungle gym and all this.
Yes.
And I feel
she's
like that's
so
perfect.
athletic. Both of those girls are.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny. I was thinking about this just a couple nights ago about when I was going to put her into jujitsu. I do jujitsu. Okay. Well, I haven't in a long time, but I'm a blue belt.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important that they learn how to defend themselves.
Yeah.
And learn how to communicate.
And a skill.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. Taekwondo, she would love that.
I know.
Taekwondo's great. Judo's another great one.
Yeah.
Because I think for girls and for smaller people, the reason I like jujitsu so much is because in the case of like a literal attack on the street, you're going to end up on the ground.
Yeah.
And most likely if I'm being attacked by a guy, he's going to try to get me on the ground and be on top of me.
Yeah.
That is where I want to be in jiu-jitsu. I want to be on the ground, and that person is absolutely done.
Yeah.
Like,
I love
it's
that.
designed for that. It's designed for the weaker person to get taken to the ground. And once you're on the ground, that person who's attacked you is absolutely F.
It's all about like locking them in and knocking them out, right?
So like if I'm on the mat, what I try to do is I try to get that other person to come down on top of me so that I can choke them out.
I think I saw something on that the other day, and okay, I love that.
Yeah, it's really great, I think, for self-defense. That's why I started taking it. But it's like the best for self-defense because natural human fights, they end up on the ground.
For sure.
And jiu-jitsu is designed for ground fighting and for you to have the advantage once you're on the ground.
I love that.
So it's really,
I remember in high school we did like a women's self-defense thing once, and that was when I learned, or ours was eyes, nose, throat, and groin, foot. No! So now I just always think, if somebody attacks me, I'm just gonna go straight for the eyeballs. Like, or
what if they do this? They block.
I mean, if it's a dude, right? Like, that's a clear way to get.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's the thing. Like, I learned some of these self-defense things before too. I took a couple, and like even online, some of them is like the worst advice. Like they'll tell women to pee on themselves so that it will like
I'm probably peeing anyway because I'm like so scared. So
turn the attacker off.
Yeah. He might
Like,
actually,
ew, girl.
if it's Diddy, he'll be like super keen.
Exactly.
He'll be like, all right,
Exactly.
we're on.
Some sicko's gonna love.
Time for a freak off.
Wow, she's into this.
Yes. Oh my God. Have you been following the Diddy trial?
A little. It's a little gross for me.
Yeah.
And like the thing is, Mary, like I know what happened.
For sure.
So do you.
Yeah.
I just like, it's even the stuff with like, you know, the Jeffrey Epstein stuff coming out. Like people are like,
They're never going to tell.
where are the files?
Right,
and
we
it's
know.
like, you guys, we all know what happened.
And we know who's
I just wanna know
currently
how
involved,
right-
who's never going to be
Yeah.
held, you know.
Yeah, and like that's just, unfortunately, that is how the world that we live in works with
Yeah.
the evil in it. Some people are never going to come to justice. That's the
No.
world we live in right now
Right.
until that changes, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just they're going to come to justice in a different way, but you're probably
well,
not going to see
it
it.
is when they meet their
Exactly.
maker. Like,
Exactly.
that's it, you know.
But like I guess there's a part of me that's like I just want to know how right I was. Like I know I'm right. I know what happened, but how right was I?
I feel like I'm 100% right. I feel like there's like
100%.
20% that like,
Right.
I know that there is a layer of people that we still have no idea about, and they're really who's at the center of it. And even the Prince Andrews and the Clintons
those
and
are
all
middle
of this,
management.
they're still middle, yeah, for sure. And there's like this whole other level underneath that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we probably will not see it happen.
No.
And they might serve up some of us, you know, someone to hang. You know,
Yeah, which is Diddy and Epstein.
Right. And the thing is too, is like, I've had to do this where I really try to guard my mind. We are bombarded with so much darkness.
For sure.
And there's a side of us as human beings that we all have a dark side.
Yeah.
That can feel kind of an adrenaline rush or somewhat entertained by that darkness. And I really try to be careful of that. There are so many people that suffered so much at the hands of these people I have to be careful not to feel entertained by that news in some way, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
I just try to guard my mind.
It's interesting you say that because Zach and I used to watch like true crime all the time and true crime podcasts and all of this stuff all the time. Like for years watched it all the time. And then we had a couple things happen in our families that were close to the subjects. And we were like, we need to guard our energy on this, and we need to not give our energy to those things because and having a little girl changed that so much too, because I was like, it's so weird. My dad, like he's passed, you know that, but
yes, I do.
He could never stomach watching true crime shows where children were hurt. Never. He couldn't watch it. And I always remembered that. And now that I have a kid, I can't do it.
Oh my God, Mary, I can barely watch any violence at all.
Yeah.
I've always been sensitive to violence, but I was like you, there for a long time I was watching like cold case files, and it was like, and then I got to a point where I started to realize, I was like, wait, these were real lives affected, and here I am sitting on my lunch break, like trying to be entertained by this, like this is wrong.
Yeah.
And then also I started to get like an overcoming of fear that it was going to happen to me. And I was like, this sucks. This is dark. This is a low vibration,
for sure,
dark thing.
And the Bible speaks on like protecting your energy and a lot about like what you watch and consume and all of that stuff. And like same thing, you know, about the frequency stuff and all of that.
Yeah.
And so in this period we've done, which sounds like you too, got rid of all that stuff. I don't listen to a whole bunch of music that I used to not listen to. Like I never really listened to like rap that much anyway, but like for sure used to a little bit. Like if we're going out on a hunt, we're gonna crunk some music. Now I'm like, I don't want this in my zone unless it's like up here and we're like,
it matters.
100%.
I think your diet is more than just what you put in your mouth, and you have to be careful of like what you're consuming. I've noticed that like guarding my mind has made me a lot more sensitive to violence, to injured people, to happiness. Like I'm just a more sensitive person, and I like being that way
because you're closer to light.
Yeah. But like we were watching that show, The Last of Us. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
And like, like episode 3, there's like this horrible, no spoilers, but like terrible, terrible, terrible violence. And I'm just like, and Martin's like, you can't suspend your belief. Like that's just, makeup and stuff. And I'm like, honestly, no, I can't. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Like it's too intense for me.
Yeah.
I mean, even down to like reading books. Like I started reading this book about the last Comanche war chief called Quanah Parker.
Yeah.
And it's true accounts of like the last hostile tribe that was literally keeping the West from being settled, called the Comanches. They were fierce warriors. I got 2 chapters in and I was like, I cannot do this. Is way too violent. And being a mother, it follows like true firsthand accounts of like, an 18-year-old girl having her 14-month-old baby ripped from her, and she just hears him crying, and he's being taken away by these savage warriors. Never sees him again. She's beaten to almost to death. Yeah. And I'm just like,
I just can't.
I just can feel it in my, like, it doesn't feel that far away from me. Like, I'm a human being. I can imagine that happening so vividly that I'm just like, I don't need to like relish in that suffering from 300 years ago. Like, I know how brutal it was. Yeah. And on both sides, the Indians were brutalized and genocided and murdered, and a lot of them were civilized, a lot of them weren't, but so much bloodshed. I'm like, I don't need to read this.
Welcome to the Velvet Vault. This 3rd floor luxury suite is located right in the heart of historic downtown Nashville. The Velvet Vault is professionally designed, decorated, and appointed with modern amenities, including an elevator, with spacious accommodations for up to 12 guests, including 4 en-suites and a bunk area perfect for couples, friends, or families traveling together. With a large living space and huge kitchen island and bar setting, karaoke stage, and a pool table. With beautiful views over the Cumberland River, Nissan Stadium, and surrounding areas. With only a short walk to Honky Tonks, Broadway, concerts at Nissan Stadium, Bridgestone Arena, Ascend Amphitheatre, restaurants, farmers markets, shops, and more. For more information on how to book the gorgeous Velvet Vault, simply check out the QR code or head to their Instagram, velvetvault.nashville. Country Outdoors podcast is proudly presented by Nomad Outdoor. Guys, we've worked with Nomad Outdoor since the beginning of Country Outdoors, and there's a reason for that. They have the absolute best hunting apparel in the hunting industry. We have worn their clothing spring. We've worn their clothing in the fall. We've worn their clothing in the summer. We've worn their clothing on the ice. We've worn it everywhere. We absolutely love it. Guys, they're a Southeastern brand. They represent us. They represent sportsmen and women. Whether it's in the field or by the campfire, Nomad Outdoor has something for every occasion. So you'll come on, go check them out. Yeah, I know what happened.
I know what happened.
I know what's happening now. Yeah. What I can do is contribute to the world in a positive way. I love that. Yeah. So let's get into music, because you've done like a complete strip down 180. Yeah. Super cool. Super cool to see.
Yeah, thank you.
For those of you, for those watching that don't kind of know your past, you were in the band Runaway June. You went solo in a year ago? No, sorry, 2 years, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
2.5 years. Gosh, time has flown.
I know. I know.
And so you've just kind of rebranded completely. You want to talk about that?
Yes. Yeah. So there was a couple of things that led to the album I'm making now, where I took a whole different turn from the music I had put out before as a solo artist. And there were some like really definitive, life-altering things that I went through that made me decide to open up and tell my own story instead of just trying to like sell beers and t-shirts at a festival. Yeah. Which is the mode I had been in. Like I've been like
and we're making good money and very successful and playing mass shows.
And I love to perform. Right. And like I'm a very high energy, like bombastic Shania Twain type performer. And I was in that mode of like, touring, and I wanted to make music that sounded good on stage and like that would support my show. And then I got pregnant and I almost died giving childbirth, like giving birth to my child. And I'll go into it. Yeah. And I had to get an order of protection against my mom, and it just changed my life. It changed it. I started writing a whole new record. Yeah. So what happened with we had similar traumatic births and postpartum journey too, didn't we? So I'm one of 11 kids. I grew up very conservative. My mom was a midwife to the Amish communities in Northern Virginia, where I was born, and my dad is a park ranger. And so I was brought up really conservative. And then, a long story short, my parents ended up selling everything that they owned, and we moved into like a renovated school bus. Like, I use heavy quotations because it was very basic, like plywood bunks, no heating and air, like no real bathroom or toilet. And we just lived in state parks and national parks for like almost 5 years.
Where your dad was placed?
My dad would work sometimes in the parks, but he was like also washing windows in the local town. It was very like off the grid, kind of mysterious. And my mom was doing like herbalism, like classes for people and child rearing. And then that just kind of all fell apart. My parents' marriage started to fall apart. My parents joined a cult. Which I didn't tell you this at the time, but when we were doing our survival course, that town where we ate Mexican food is where
Did you know that?
Was.
Did you know
Yes.
that? Why? I don't know.
I thought so. I'm driving through there, and it says the name of the town.
Oh my.
And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm start having like a little bit of a flashback. I'm like, why do I know this?
Things happen for a reason though. Like that's
Yeah,
the,
and
like,
we had like a spiritual talk at that dinner.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, that's when you told us about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. I did tell you.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's in that town.
But you didn't say that it was in that town. So
I
like,
didn't?
No.
I don't think I did.
You didn't.
I don't think
you
I did.
said that you'd been in one.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, it's right.
It was here. Actually, like this Mexican restaurant's a part of it.
Yeah, we're in the cult right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they ended up joining this cult, and that's where I learned how to play my guitar, was in this cult from another kid. And so we left that cult. I started playing my guitar on street corners for gas money and food and
It sounds like
and
River
stuff.
Phoenix.
Huh?
Have you ever read Last Night at the Viper Room?
No, but someone else just told me about this.
I need to send you the book. It's the
Send
River
me that.
Phoenix story.
Someone else literally just
No,
told me.
'cause
River
that's-
Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to read that one, and then there's another book called The Glass Castle that someone told me I should read.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
So
continue.
I'm going through this because like this is what I started writing the record about.
Yeah.
Was like all of these stories and like what it was like growing up like that, and so fast forward, I'm making this whole other record. It kind of sounded like Shania Twain meets like Bon Jovi. It was very bombastic and kind of like high energy and something I wanted to perform in an arena. And I get pregnant. I give birth to my daughter. I have a really traumatic birth. So I had an allergic reaction to Pitocin.
Yep.
And I was given a high dose of Pitocin because it was not kicking me into labor.
Yep.
And so they just kind of kept upping it. And then at one point, my midwife pulled the plug on that because she was like, she's having an allergic reaction to this. Like, she is going to hemorrhage if we have to go into the emergency room. And I ended up having to go in and get a C-section where I hemorrhaged a lot. Like, my husband said he could like hear my blood dripping on the floor off of the table. And there was a moment where I genuinely, like, they put my baby on my chest and they're still working on trying to get me to stop bleeding. And they had to do like 3 different types of stitches. I just wouldn't stop bleeding. The next step is to like cut out the uterus, and because then they can stitch it and that will stop. So that was the next step. So I feel my baby put on my chest, and I have this like, I'm like kind of out of my mind. Like I'm in this like spiritual, like halfway, I'm like in the in-between.
Yeah.
And I have this kind of like, it feels like a thought, but it was more of a feeling of like, I did it. And it was like, I can go. It was very like, I'm getting chills thinking about it, but it was like, I did what I came here to do, kind of. Like, my baby's here, she's alive. And I was like losing my life while I just gave birth to a new life. And I felt this like very warm, peaceful like feeling come over me that I've heard people talk about this that have near-death experiences, like this, like warm, kind of tingly. I've also heard that you feel that when you've lost like so much blood. And I came really close. I started to feel like, okay, like I'm just going to fall asleep. And then all of a sudden I felt this like shock in my arm that was like so unbelievably painful that it like shook me out of that like woo that thing. And I heard the anesthesiologist saying, that's pooling. What are we going to do? Like he started to talk because he was seeing how much blood I was losing. And so he gave me this shot in my arm,
like an
adrenaline shot or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was like adrenaline and Pitocin, because Pitocin will stop you bleeding, which is ironic because I had a bad reaction. And it hurt so bad. It felt like it went into my bone, but it like woke me up, and I had a bruise there. It was like a huge needle. But that kind of shook me out. And then once I had my baby, I was going over it, in my head of like everything that happened. I was like whirling. And I started to think about like, had I died, which a lot of women have died giving birth, like a lot. Yeah. It's not a small task, what we do. Had I died and my daughter wanted to hear my music, and she would go to Spotify or whatever, like she would hear, some kind of like fun party ditties.
Right.
And she would not know anything about me at all, because I've kept so much of this like close to chest for whatever reason. And a lot of it was painful, and I hadn't done the work to go through it and talk about it. And I was like, she would never know me as a mother or a friend or a wife or an artist or, and that became like the catalyst for me making the music that I feel like I've always had the purpose to make.
That's awesome.
And also, I have Cherokee blood in me. Like I'm 9 generations of Cherokee, and she is blonde haired and blue eyed. Like she would never look in the mirror and say, I have Cherokee in me. And so in the music, I've put little Easter eggs and like different sounds and stuff that are my native expression, which I've never done before. It's so awesome.
That's awesome. And what was Martin's reaction when you said, I'm completely changing? I'm sure he loved it.
Oh, he was so supportive. Yeah. Like immediately was like,
this is cool.
Yes, this is what you're supposed to do.
This is you.
Yes. And he has been really encouraging of me, of telling my story more. But I was like, yeah. Like, I know, I will eventually. But I also didn't feel like I had the songwriting chops then to like write about these stories and make them into, consumable art that people would understand. And then once I started doing it in the writing room and opening up to my collaborators, like it really just started to pour out. It was very, very, very God. It was very timing.
For sure. I think as well, when you have like a near-death experience like that and you come out the other end, it's like there's a few things. Like becoming a mother makes you bold anyway. Yes. And then when you have a near-death experience, it's like, what am I wasting my time over? Like I'm here to live. Like let's just put it out there. Like this is me.
Yeah, we're here to live, and it's short.
Yeah.
It's short. Yeah. And like you're saying, if I had the gift of like coming close to like feeling the hot breath of death on my face, and then coming back through it. Like that's the gift of life is a gift that is incredible, and like we can't even comprehend. No. Much less getting that twice. Yeah. I was kind of like, no, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it my way, and it's gonna be great. And it is. It's been awesome. And it's because of her. And I was terrified when I got pregnant. Yeah. I had so much career fear, and no one's gonna believe in me the same. Like this is gonna change me. I'm not gonna be able to like be who I was, or is my team still gonna think that like I'm as motivated as I once was? I had all these fears and judgments about it. And it's the best thing I've ever done.
Well, also you probably have found that there's several things. Number one, you tend to weed out people that weren't filling the cup anyway. Motivation looks different because you're not going to be doing what you did then because you're not that person. You're never going to be that person again.
You're in a new season.
You're in a new season, and I have personally found that since starting a family, people trust and believe in me more than they did before, because I have to put food on my table and I can't screw it up, and I have a little mouth to feed, and you know, all of these things. And so I think that, like,
very true. Whoa. Yeah. I didn't really think of it in that in those terms, but absolutely.
Yeah. So
I'm more motivated to make
dependable.
This work. I'm more dependable. Exactly. I'm more inspired.
And you don't need people around you that think that you need to be doing arena shows and do all of this stuff all the time. Like, you need people around you that can see the value of what you're doing now and work towards a bigger.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's changed everything. It's been the best thing that ever happened to me by a long shot.
Tell me this, like, what has your kind of now being based between Nashville and Utah, how has that played a part in your music making and just everything in general? Because I'm sure it does. It's like it's played a huge part in creativity for me. I've been in Nashville a long time. Like, I've lived in Nashville almost 15 years. And she still lives. She still has a base here.
Yeah.
It's back and forth.
I still live in Nashville, but I'm making this record in Utah, and my husband and I bought a house out there, and we live out there right now more than part-time because I'm spending so much time there making this album.
Yeah.
It's not that I've mined everything from this town that it has to offer. Not at all. But for this record, I really felt like I needed like some coverage to dare to be really bad. Instead of, like, you know, and a lot of this was self-inflicted. I would go into writing rooms and I would even say this sometimes, like, I'm feeling really insecure right now. Like, I just want you guys to think I'm a star. I want you guys to think I'm a good writer. And so I have this tendency to just write, you know, an up tempo that's probably not going to get cut. And I would say that to my collaborators. And once I started doing that, I felt like I started to get the best of them, because I was misjudging even them, thinking like they just wanted to write beer songs. And a lot of them do. Or people that have like one or two hits, they you know, they just bought a new house and they need another hit, or they think they know how to make a hit. And the thing is like, I wasn't sure that any of these songs were going to be hits. Like, so I needed a collaborator, and I needed to be alone with myself as a songwriter, without anyone looking over my shoulder, without anyone kind of, where's the demo? And like, how did it go with this songwriter I put you in the room with? I really needed to be alone so that I could throw paint at the wall. And I wanted to be with someone who wasn't, you know, completely drained from working on 15 TikTok artists.
For sure. And do you think as well, with like your native side, you needed to also be in a space where you could freely explore that?
Yes.
Because I feel like,
yes,
I love
absolutely.
Nashville, but it's a city. And if you're trying to explore what that looks like, that you are 9 generations Cherokee, and put that potentially into your music, you kind of need to put yourself in an environment where it speaks to that. Yes,
you're so right. That is exactly what happened. I'm in the foothills of these insane mountains. I drive 30 minutes into like this farmland, tiny town in Utah, to work on this record, where we're working on a ranch, and we like the studio is inside of a stable. I'm around animals. I can literally walk outside. There's like all these different animals. There's this beautiful stream that runs through the farm. So it has made such an impact on my creative battery, like would get drained after 3 hours in the city writing.
Yeah.
And there was a time where I got charged up from that, but for this specific project, I was so guided. Personal. Yeah. It's so personal. And like you're saying, I needed somewhere that I could feel like I'm getting charged at the same time. And that was like the countryside of the mountains in Utah. And it has really, really, it's just really mirrored in the music. That's in awesome. A way that wouldn't happen in the concrete jungle that Nashville's become, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just felt so good to be able to create, not in secret, but kind of like in that privacy of like, I still have this, you know, my producer, Josh Kelly, he's someone who has never stopped making music. He's an amazing, amazing producer, musician, but like, he's not in the Nashville or LA really like world, in the sense of like, he's working on tons of stuff. He kind of works when he wants. And he's like a little kid in the studio. He's just like hitting things and pulling things down and like
Trying.
let's try putting our foot on this drum and let's try he's just like a little kid in there, and it's so
spirit.
Oh my gosh, so much spirit.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So you've got Mama Ain't Jesus out now, which I am obsessed with that song, and even the creative behind it, where you've got Free walking across the little fence and everything. It's that must have been so nice to be able to. Is that the first music video she's been in?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Aww.
Yes. Yeah. We talked about this like when the girls were really little. I kind of decided early that I wasn't going to show her face online.
Yeah.
And you were pretty sure, you were the same way with Molly. You were like, we're going to be really conservative about it. And I think you guys do a great job with that, where, you're still able to showcase your lives, and she's a part of that. And she's so freaking photogenic and charming, but at the same time, she's not,
mindful.
None of it's on her back. Right.
Yeah.
You have to be mindful. And I think in this age, it's so easy to, not be mindful.
Most people don't, and just like a side note to this is like, most people are completely unaware of the risks of putting your child on social media, and they do it from a really innocent place.
Yes.
Because they don't know. Like, you want to share these beautiful photos of your family, and these cute moments.
Oh my gosh, I think about it all the time.
Like, so I see like the cutest photo of Molly. I'm like, she's adorable. I want the world to see how cute she is.
I want the world to see her. Yeah.
But I learned a lot in the work that I've done in human trafficking, and then now you add in AI to that, and the AI piece has become so scary, because now they're literally ripping your photo, and for you as an artist, you're going to find this a lot too, but then putting them into other things, and so what goes from just a photo of your child can just be taken and put into the most darkest places.
Stuff. Yeah.
But so.
Yeah, and I also think I've operated off of this rule for myself that's worked, of like, you can always give more away, but you can't get it back when it comes to this digital world that we're so like hand in hand with. Yeah. And we grew up at a time where none of this existed. Yeah. And then we also have lived in this world where we're also still growing up, where it's like kind of completely taken over. So we're still learning. Yeah. And there's a lot of people our age that are parents that, we're going to make mistakes with this. But like you said, it really comes from this innocent place. But it's so dangerous too. And I think, there's dangers there. But I decided to put her in this video, and her face isn't showing. No. But it's important, I think, to show me
as a mother
in that vulnerable.
No, I love how you did it. It's
space.
Like her little feet, walking across the fence, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, and then, I've said this a couple of times, but I was talking to a friend about this a few days ago, that I've been, I go out into the world, and I go to the supermarket, or I go to someplace out in public, and I see moms everywhere, and they look. Sometimes I'll observe, a mother with their children, and they're on a mission. They're doing their job. They're shopping. They've got a list, and the kids it's kind of chaos, and they look very vulnerable and very lovely and feminine, and like you could hurt that person or the children or whatever, and then, but just underneath that mom is the most dangerous,
for sure,
vicious lion. Yeah. And it's very fascinating to me because there's a duality of not just a woman, but a mother. Yeah. That if someone tries to approach that quote unquote distracted mom, her senses are unbelievably heightened, most of them. Yeah. Where she can hear and smell and see everything that's going on. Yeah. And the biggest mistake you could make is try to grab a kid's arm.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
I mean, for me,
especially
you try to grab my
packing.
kid's arm, and you're going to meet a whole nother level of danger. So you know what I mean? Like, you don't even know what you're coming up to, because I do carry. Yeah. Yeah. And I intentionally carry, especially since I became a mom.
For sure.
And I will kill for her. Yeah. I will. Yeah. Like, without question, I will not hesitate. Not even a little, not even a question. Yeah. And so that's what Mom Ain't Jesus is about. Like, I have this dark side of me that's also God-given. Yep. And I also, you know, I'm tempted and I falter, you know, I gossip sometimes. I'm jealous of people. I you know, I fall short. But my purpose is to teach my daughter how not to do those things, or just teaching her that they're not the right way to live. And it's an interesting dichotomy, because she's going to grow up to a certain age thinking that I'm perfect and that I know everything, and you know, and then she's going to find out that I'm just doing my dang best.
Yep. 100%. And then,
you know, I'm never going to hide from her, you know, the flaws that I have. I want to be open with her that, like, hey, listen, you know, mommy says bad words too sometimes, but it's not the right thing to do.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So Mama Ain't Jesus is kind of that, all of what I just said kind of in a song. And it's, I don't know, I'm really, really proud of that one.
Yeah,
I'm really proud of that one.
You should be. What's next coming up after that?
I have another song that's going to be coming out. Should I say this? This song's coming out?
When is it?
June 27th.
Oh, we can drop this around then.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
This song that I'm dropping is called Come Take a Walk. And it's talking about my hometown and how it made me who I am. But it's kind of like, I don't have a hometown. I grew up kind of all over the United States. I'm like an all-American girl in the sense of, like, I'm from everywhere. Like, I'm also from nowhere. I'm nobody from nowhere at the same time. And there were a lot of towns that built me. But there's one place that when I think of a hometown, is the longest that we stayed in one place. And it is this rough little fishing town on the coast in Florida. And it is a tough town to be a teenager in. And everybody there is kind of roughneck, and they all live really hard lives. They're hard workers. There's been, you know, a lot of traumatic stuff that happened in that town, and it's just kind of rough. It really roughed me up a little bit, that town.
Yeah.
And it kind of sent me out into the world with a little thicker skin, because up until then, I was, you know, this kind of wild hippie kid that was like running around in the woods. I was pretty sheltered in a lot of ways, and that town kind of roughed me up a little bit. And so this song is about that. It's kind of like, you know, it's like see why there's a hole in my pocket. You know, why I smoke when I drink, why I drive like a rocket, why I say what I think. Like, come take a walk through my hometown and I'll show you why this place made me this way. So it's really fun. And up until now, it's been, you know, acoustic guitars and kind of me singing from a soulful place. And this one's just a little bit more of like a, you know, a fist.
I love it.
Yeah, it's gonna
Have
be
you
fun.
been
I'll send
back
it to
there?
you. Huh?
Have you been back there?
All right, guys, I have a confession to make. I have a terrible sense of direction, and it's no wonder I haven't got lost in the woods or eaten by a bear at this stage, but there's a reason for that, and it's because I have Onyx Hunt. Onyx Hunt is incredible. It's an incredible mapping feature, and it has helped me navigate my way out of some pretty sketchy areas using the compass feature. I've been able to get back to my truck. I've been able to drop pins and waypoints to be able to coordinate how to get to A to B, to be able to find that turkey that I saw on the road and knock and get permission. Guys, though, if you really want to know who's a fanatic at dropping pins, it's my husband, Zach. If you look in his phone, he has thousands of these pins. If it was the 1920s, he'd be able to trade them and get some money out of them. But don't take my opinion. Go and download Onyx today and check it out for yourself. Good luck this fall. Zach, myself, and the Country Outdoors family are proud to have Hawk Optics as a sponsor. When it comes to clarity, precision, and overall quality of the product, we have found Hawk Optics to be top of the line and field tested their products year round and had great success. You can check out this example here on the screen of my recent Colorado elk hunt, where I harvest this monster bull elk using the Frontier 30 SF hooked up onto my fix from Q. When you think of the biggest hunting shows, the most legendary hunting shows in outdoor television, what channel do you think of? Outdoor Channel. Country Outdoors is very proud of our partnership with Outdoor Channel, which started during the pandemic in 2020 with our turkey tour, which has now evolved into our popular adventure series 4 years later. We are available on all Outdoor Channel digital outlets, including My Outdoor TV. And guys, they're giving out a free subscription to My Outdoor TV, so go and check it out.
I've been back a couple of times. You know, none of my siblings live there anymore, so I don't have a huge reason to go back there. It's very, very remote. It's
Would you
really
for like
rural.
a visual?
I would, yeah. I would do it for a visual. I'm thinking about like the video being kind of like a green screen, and in the back is like going through all different kinds of hometowns, because we're all shaped by a certain place that we spent time in.
For sure.
And, you know, for some people that might be a college town that they went to college where they feel like, hey, this kind of really started to shape me into this person.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying not to be like, I want songs that everyone can relate to, because I just think that like that doesn't really matter.
Right.
Like people, if I'm being authentic and I'm telling my
Someone
story,
else
people
is
will
gonna,
relate.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I think they less relate when you try to like hit everyone.
Yeah.
So, but I do know, I mean, most people I know, they have a hometown that they think of, or a spot that like really kind of shaped them through the people or the topography or whatever. So this is that for me. But also, you know, I grew up all over the United States.
I think you should do one just about the cold.
A song just about the cult?
Oh yeah.
I'll do stories about
Do and include in there
From
a line
cult to
about the
country.
lady who got sick and was buried by her
Dude.
husband, and I was the only one who commented
I
that
know.
on your page, and I'm like, yeah, she
wait.
just got sick and got buried by her husband. If you want to go back to Naomi's Instagram and scroll through and all these posts
It
she
gets
started
wild
doing
in
for
there.
her. Yeah, there's some suspicious stuff.
Oh, for sure.
You need to
Just
keep up
so
with those
weird.
story pieces, because they are great. But I feel like you
People,
should just
yeah.
you need
I
to
started telling some of these stories, and I was like, dude, if people go to my page, they're just going to be like, it is crazy over there. But like, these are true stories.
It's crazy.
Like, they're true. So yeah, and
They
they're kind of fun to tell. I have
essentially
so
like
many
ran
of
away
them.
from a cult.
Yeah, we did. Yes. Yeah, we ran away. We escaped.
Which is where we did, if you want to go back to Outdoor Channel, oh no, it's on our YouTube as well. We did a survival lesson in West Tennessee. Turns out that's where the cult was, which Naomi didn't tell me when we were at Mexican that night. So yeah.
I did tell you about the cult, but I wasn't like.
Didn't say it was here in this town. It was
I
around the
wonder
corner.
why I didn't. I mean, I probably
You must
wasn't
have been
thinking
having
about
like
it.
some PTSD or something that night and being like, wait, is this actually what's going on?
Yeah. Wow, that was so fun. We need to do another survival
know, we
thing.
do.
That
I
was
wanna do
so
one out
fun. Have you
west.
done one since?
I haven't.
You haven't?
No,
Okay.
I haven't. But I would like to do another one with you.
Yeah, we've talked about it a bunch.
Yeah.
We just need to make it happen.
Yeah, I do want to do one out west for sure. I am doing that, which I texted you about the other day, that event in.
Oh, you are going to do it?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So they had sent me a message. The lady actually is a leather worker out in Montana, and she's done a bunch of the leather on my hats, and she works with Holler Hat Co. And so she's been following me for years. She's invited me. It's called, I'm going to get the name wrong, but it's a Western showcase, Western and Native showcase of art to raise awareness for missing indigenous. And
Whoa,
so she
have you dove into that at all?
Oh, I have. And because I spoke a little bit to when we hunted up in Saskatchewan and stuff like that with those people.
Okay.
But this is for the Crow Nation specifically. And so I'm actually going to go in and do a mini doco around it. And so the Western art piece will be the final piece of it, but I'm going to arrive a couple days early and I'm going to go out to the reservation. I'm going to meet with whoever the head speaker is on the topic, talk to some of the families.
I have got to do this with you.
I know.
Like, I have got to do this. So we have like a family vacation like right in that, but we could bump it a couple days. Because I mean, you Salt Lake City, I can fly literally right to Montana.
I would
So
love to have you there. And because it's going to have like the art side to it too. So you could even do a little, like play a couple songs or something like that.
Yeah.
But I just think, oh my gosh, these things, because I've been praying like to God to bring me more opportunities that are impactful for my platform and for the, I started the Artists Against Trafficking thing a couple of years ago. And that's why she contacted. She was like, I just thought with all the anti-human trafficking stuff, you might be interested in this. And I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
so.
that's an amazing thing. And then, to go into the tribes and the indigenous people that are like really, really suffering and struggling with this human trafficking, just missing women. And like, it's not on the news at all.
No.
And it is a lot of people.
yeah.
It's very mysterious.
And I feel like they only get massive amounts of coverage when it's outside of mainstream.
Yeah.
It's like people coming in and doing docos and stuff like that. And their relationship, obviously, with like the police and all of that is so skewed. So,
yeah, it's really, it's complicated because, you know, the reservations are their own nation.
yeah.
And so.
And sometimes they're not like the most tame place either, but there's.
Oh, no.
But they have their own issues there. I think a lot of the trafficking stuff is the freeways and stuff that come through the reses and to the side of them. And like, they're just, So there's a lot there. And so I've got to do a bit more research, and I really want to make sure that I have my head fully around the issue and what is going on with them and the local police and all of this stuff, so that when I go in, I'm just like really honed in on what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to go into that like
yeah.
uneducated about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to have my ducks in a row. But yeah, let me know.
I'm fascinated. I will let you know really soon.
Sure.
I'll talk to Martin about that tonight because I really want to do it.
Yeah.
I really want to do it. If we can just bump it a couple of days and I can make that work, I would really love to.
Yeah, I think it would be great to have you there for that, for sure. Well, we're going to finish up with a little, these are some fun questions.
Okay.
Story opportunity for you.
Okay, favorite conspiracy theory. Do you have one? I want to hear yours too. If I have to share, you have to.
Okay.
Okay, my favorite, I've heard a couple. One of them is really interesting. This one is that, you know, Area 51 in Nevada. So that's actually the exit out of this place.
Oh.
And that's why you'll get if you try to go there, because they don't want us to leave. I think that's fascinating. Also, I think that there is a lot of medical conspiracies, and one of them is root canals.
Oh, I like that one in the doco that got pulled from Netflix.
Dude, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that, the root canals and the medical, the dentistry industry is like the forefront of your health deteriorating. And why that's not like, I think there's a real conspiracy there, because I think when it comes to medical conspiracies, I don't necessarily think that doctors are in on these conspiracies. I don't think there's this nefarious side of doctors. I think they're educated
to think that. Yeah.
In these nefarious institutions that are funded by people who make money when we're sick.
For sure.
Because I know lots of doctors and people in medicine. No, they genuinely
go into it to do good.
They want to.
And they do try to do good.
Yes.
I agree with you.
But I don't think they have the tools to actually make that happen.
No. I would say that, since you said that, that's like one of my favorite conspiracies, I think, is the school education system.
Yes.
So, and that actually being created by the Rockefeller family and all of those, you know, if we're talking about the pyramid of the elites, that's probably somewhere up there, maybe even further than that. I think that one's really interesting. The school system, I think, is just created to make worker bees, stifle creativity completely, and make yes men, people that work for the man. I loved the one that Joe Biden wasn't Joe Biden. Oh my God. That was a really good one.
I love
it. It was questionable. There were times where I thought maybe he's gotten a bit taller.
Well, I gotta say the earlobes.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, people's earlobes don't change. Like, okay, like, let's say that we're crazy, right? What is that? Did he have earlobe surgery?
No, but also there was just so much weird stuff that was happening in the last 2 years that was like, number one, what?
Did you see the one where Jim Carrey was pretending to be Joe Biden? No. Like, that was a whole conspiracy that Jim Carrey was playing Joe Biden, was like...
Stop, that's hilarious. The Joe Biden stuff is great.
The Joe Biden stuff is awesome.
Another great one that I heard was that pandas aren't actually pandas. They're people in panda costumes.
What?
Because you know pandas, like, okay, so there's a thing called panda diplomacy.
There's no such thing as a panda bear?
No, it's actually just people in costumes, and it's the Chinese government running it. And so, have you heard of panda diplomacy?
No.
So you can look it up. There's a thing called panda diplomacy, and essentially like anytime some sort of a negotiation is happening in the world with China and another country, you'll notice like that country, oh, look, their zoo, San Francisco Zoo just got two pandas. And then China's just done some deal with San Francisco on something. It's a thing. And so anyway, but I heard a conspiracy theory that pandas aren't actually pandas and that's people in panda costumes. And then if you start to look at a panda's face, it doesn't look real.
So I have heard, I'm not like completely shocked by this, because I have heard that pandas were like lab made animals, that they do not come from the wild, and there's no historical account of them until a certain time, like in the 1700s, like anywhere in Asia. Like, and you would think that that an animal like that would be like us never having accounts of grizzly bears ever until like the 50s or something. And there's no accounts of them until like the 1700s when settlers started
China got really good at making suits.
Yeah, that there was until they started making suits, till the factory came in. But that conspiracy theory is that they're like some type of like a genetically modified being, because they like don't reproduce.
What if the pandas are the aliens?
And
China's in on it. Yeah. Oh, the dolphins.
The dolphins conspiracy is crazy.
Gosh.
Do you know that it is a felony, a federal felony to quote unquote this? You can look this up on a website, on one of the pages on the government website. It is a federal felony to fraternize with wild dolphins.
But wild dolphins are allowed to fraternize with everything else?
Yeah.
They can come up
to us.
They're little sexual
They're
assaulters.
horny.
No, they assault each other. That's a thing.
I heard they have sex for pleasure.
I have heard that dolphins abuse each other. No, my niece used to love dolphins and then told me about this, and now she hates them.
I mean, how do you know it's abuse? How do you know they're not just
I don't know. I feel like we need to look this up quickly. Look up if dolphins are little rapers.
I've definitely heard that, and I've heard that they'll even do it to people.
Yeah,
I heard that too, but I remember.
It's another good
I remember
conspiracy theory.
The dolphin, our stuff.
Okay, here's another
but
one.
also, there was a facility in Hawaii, and so there's a place in Spain. There's a certain lagoon that goes into the ocean where women will go to have birth, and dolphins will come in and assist this birth. And the children that are born have like insane IQs. Insane.
So Elon Musk was born with the dolphins.
I don't think Elon Musk was born.
Yeah, I know. That's a good conspiracy. Oh my gosh, that one of him at the inauguration where he's like going like this and like looking up
so
into.
Autistic.
Oh my god.
Best quote I've ever heard. Oh. You know, I always have the best ideas for questions like this until I'm in the hot seat. Best quote I've ever heard. Okay, here's one that comes to mind right off the bat. That lazy people work the hardest. And that's always stuck with me. Like, if you're lazy and you cut corners, you're going to end up having to go back and do your work all over, or your life is just sloppy, or you just end up working twice as hard if you're lazy. So I used to here's an example. I would rather break my arms than make 2 trips for groceries in my car. But the amount of times that I've busted bags and then I have to clean up some sauce that's smashed everywhere just because I didn't want to take 2 trips.
No, be thorough. Yeah.
Lazy people work the hardest.
I love it.
Every time.
Let's do another one.
Okay. Biggest fail or regret hunting? So, I'm trying to think of one here. So, well, I was on a salmon fishing boat in Alaska. I did that for a while. I guess that's not like hunting.
No, that's great. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, outdoors.
Okay. So I was a deckhand on a salmon fishing boat in Alaska one summer. I volunteered for that job, which is crazy to think.
You didn't know what you were getting yourself
I had
into.
Mary.
Mary, you had not watched any of the documentaries.
I had literally no
I'm
idea.
gonna be in Alaska.
Oh my God. Well, I knew, like, I
fishing.
was kind of like a tom girl, like a tomboy girl. I had done a lot of fishing in Florida. Like, we'd done hog hunting and like that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was pretty outdoorsy and really strong and athletic. And I was like, I can go do this. And I'm gonna make a grip of cash and like, but I had literally no idea.
Yeah.
So there's no regret there, but that's like the biggest one of like the biggest adventures I'd ever done in my life.
Very hard.
It was insanely hard.
Yeah.
We would work like 21 hours around the clock, no rest at all.
brutal weather.
Brutal weather. I got so seasick. I've never like really recovered from that motion sickness. Like, I get triggered so fast on a boat. Like, and I was the only woman. I
my gosh.
I was the only woman. There were like hundreds of Russians out there because they're really close to that Alaska tail. And so most of the people were speaking Russian.
You're like, I'm gonna die out here.
Oh my God.
Every day.
Oh my gosh. There was one point where, so you're working around the clock and you're exhausted. I mean, it's like hard work.
Yeah.
Because you only get certain windows. You know this, but like, you get certain windows to fish from the state.
Yeah.
And they have helicopters out there. If you put your net in 1 second before a certain time, you get this massive fine. Like, you have to get your boat out, basically. And so, and then there's a lot of like rivalry with the Russian boats.
Yep.
And they'll like cork your nets when the salmon start coming to like block so that they get all the fish. And so there's a lot of like rough and rowdy stuff going on. And so we pull up our boat to deliver our fish. We had the nets came out at the certain time. And then there's a race to get your fish nets clean so that you can get to the better spots again. And so it's insane. And I was the only deckhand on this boat. It was me, my stepdad, and then the captain.
Oh, at least your stepdad was there.
Yeah, my stepdad was there. Yeah,
thank the Lord.
yeah, he is the one who gave me the job.
Gotcha.
And you
But
know,
still, it's not like he can be with you every 2 seconds.
No, my
You
God,
still
no.
have to
And he
work
was
it.
not the protective kind. He was like, when he called me, he was like, all right, well, you're going to be treated like a man up here. It's like, and I was like, all right. So, oh my God, it was crazy. So we pull up to this big boat to deliver the fish, to get it off of our boat. And you never go back on shore. Like, I was out there 5 weeks. You never touch ground. And
No.
I'm like tying up or whatever. And my stepdad slips off the back of the boat and falls overboard. And this is very rough, very cold water.
Yeah.
If you're in there too long, you get hypothermia. Like
Yeah.
and the tide is rushing so high that like he fell off the front. I was at the back. He fell off the front, and he was at the back of the boat so fast. It was like rip.
Yeah.
And before I even knew that he was really in, before my mind registered, oh, he fell in, I couldn't even get to a ring to throw it to him.
Yeah.
And he was smart enough to like keep water in his lungs. He's at full slickers, like you'll just get drugged right under. And he kept air in his lungs enough to stay up, and a boat behind us saw him like get taken, and they were able to grab him. Oh my God. But it was like, I was like,
yeah. There's this, you ain't messing around out here.
no. And one little mistake will take your life. It was wild.
When was that?
That was the summer of 2009.
You need to write a song about that one too.
Summer of 2009.
Summer, yeah, a little different.
But I did meet one woman from Madagascar at one time, and they had come up from Madagascar, and they were working on the boat where we delivered our fish to, and it was just like, hey. And that was it.
That's good though. I'm sure that taught you some grit too, 100%.
Oh my God.
And to like just never do it again.
Yeah. Do your research before. You know what's funny is like
little summer trip to Alaska.
Yeah, I'm all cute. I got my furs. It was crazy. I expected it to be hard, but there is no preparing me for that.
No.
And it was like, Facebook was a thing in MySpace. I'm like so dated, but social media, it wasn't like you could just like open your phone and like see people living it. So I kind of had my own idea, and I just went with it. And I was super cocky and like, young and like I can do anything.
You got humbled quick.
Oh my God. Yeah, I got humbled really quick. It was,
love it.
it's an adventure that I'm really glad I have.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming
Thanks
on.
for
It has
having
been a
me.
pleasure to have you here. I can't wait for the new music to come out. So this will be, are we going to drop it? We'll drop it. Can we say out now?
Yeah. Oh, this, I don't know. When would we,
Do you want to do it like just after it is?
single?
Yeah, let's do it just after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What's the name of the single again?
It's called Come Take a Walk.
Okay. Come Take a Walk is out now, guys. Make sure to go and stream it. Have you got any live shows coming up this year?
Not this year, but I will be doing stuff next summer. I'm really focused on finishing the record. It's taking all my time because I'm co-producing it, so I can't really
that.
just like
Yeah.
come in and do vocals and leave.
Yeah.
I'm really in the saddle with my producer. So I've got
Got to give people something to wait for.
yeah, and I'll be performing next summer, which I'm very excited about.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm stoked that you
Thank
could
for
finally be
having
on
me.
here.
I'm
Yeah.
so happy.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
so
very
happy we
happy
finally
for
did
you.
this.
I know. And we'll have to definitely get another survival thing and hopefully get together for this
Yes.
August thing
Yeah,
too.
that would be wonderful.
Awesome.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you. Mwah.